Good morning, guys. Welcome to Peeex Fishing. I'm just heading off. It's going to be a bit of an interesting day today. It was a bit of a should I go, should I not go. Very windy at the moment, very rainy, but there looks to be a weather window this morning which I'm going to try and maximise. But where I am now, I'm just at the, just gone past Panmure Basin, and directly ahead of me, where my finger is pointing here, is the old Makoia Pa. Really interesting bit of history around this area here. So the bridge is straight ahead here, the Panmure Bridge, and they're building the new bus terminal thing there, which is going to go right through. So we'll just go past here, then we're going to actually, oh, naughty van. You can see all the works going on here, and Makoia Pa is just here. So we'll go and have a look at that shortly. So Makoia Pa runs right on the corner here, and beside it was Maui Naina Pa, which is Ngāti Pawa Iwi, who owned quite a bit of land around the Firth and around the Hauraki Gulf. So this was a scene of a huge battle in 1821 when Ngāpuhi, under the leadership of Hongi Hika, invaded from the north. And Hongi Hika had been trading flax with the English for muskets. So he had a huge stash of muskets, around about 1,000. 2,000 warriors in the Waka came down in the invasion, and of course the battle went on for some time, but the Ngāti Pawa people were defeated, and that area now became tapu, or is tapu land. So that was how the Irish fencibles were able to settle it in the 1800s there. So Hongi Hika was a fearsome warrior and chief. He led his people into battle all around the area. There was huge conflict with Ngāti Whātua, other tribes down the line as well. So it was all to do with the trade for flax, which is what sort of triggered the musket wars. All thanks to George IV, who this is actually Hongi's musket that was gifted by George IV in 1820s. So next time you're driving over the Panmure Bridge, give a thought to what occurred here all those years ago, and just one of the many sites around Auckland where there's very interesting history. Well, I find it interesting anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll get back to the video now. Cheers. Yeah, so it should be an interesting day today. The weather's been very, very windy, lots and lots of rain, and there's a little weather window this morning I'm sort of hoping to capitalise on, so I hope predict wind is right. Anyway, it's going to be windy against the tide. I want to do a bit of wash fishing today, but that's going to depend on the wind. So I am going to head out to my usual spot, but I may need to move to get a bit of shelter from the wind if the norwesterly, I think they're saying northwest, is meant to be picking up to 15 knots, so I'll try and get out of that. But it's quite mild today. It was going to be sort of 8 or 9 degrees. It's 11 now. It's not even that cold, so that part of it is good. And yeah, we'll see how we get on. Well, you don't see this too often. It could be a sign. There's no one else out at all. It's blowing about 18 knots out at Tiri at the moment, but there's not much wind here, and where I'll be heading to, the noises, it's about 12 at the moment, so I think it's going to be alright. But anyway, I'll get launched and get into it. So, something I've always wanted to do is try a weedless hook, just with a small sinker on, with a soft bait, and do a bit of wash fishing. So, the other day I was out and about, and I got the gear for it. I watch some of the Australian YouTubers, and they fish snags and estuaries, and I'm very, very envious of that technique they got there. They fish snags, they pull out beautiful mangrove jack and barramundi and cod and all sorts of these fish in about a metre of water or less. Sometimes it's only 300 millimetres. So I thought I'd like to try that, and what I've got is this little 1/4 ounce sinker just running up on a weedless hook, and the trick with it when you put the soft bait on is just to fold the tip of the hook back into the bait so it becomes weedless, then it got nothing to to catch on. And as you'll see coming up, I actually caught a fish on it, my first one. It was a real thrill, only a 40 centimetre fish, but it was just so amazing to catch it. And also I never got snagged once, which was just brilliant. So I hope you enjoy this clip coming up. It comes back like that, and then you stretch that out and just tuck the end in so it becomes a weedless. And as the fish strikes, it pops down and the hook will be exposed. That's the theory anyway. So that looks pretty good to me. Right, this looks like a lot of wash to me, so I'll give it a go. I don't know if that was a rock or a fish. Yeah, it's a bit lumpy here for this type of fishing, but it'd be great at got a trevally or something. Let's give it another go. That's right amongst it. Nothing there. Yes! Oh, good fish too. I think this is a trevally. Ah, you beauty! I'm just going to get away from these rocks. I've got rocks right behind me as well, so I should drive this fish out of it. Oh, that should be okay here, I think. Yes! Woo! Shit, he's putting up a bit of a fight now. I've got my drag set very tight, so. Okay. That's a nice fish. Very nice fish, and it's a oh, it's a snapper. Oh, you beauty. You beauty. It's a good snapper. Right, we'll turn the engine off, and yeah, it's a nice snapper. In the wash. And he looks like he's well hooked as well. Oh, lovely. Lovely stuff. Well, that's a first for me. A nice snapper in the wash. Beautifully hooked. And he wasn't going anywhere. Whoops-a-daisy. Now, he's not a monster, but that's a keeper. I'm pretty happy with that. That's a beautiful fish. Good eating fish. And there's my wash fishing weedless hook. Has done the business. So I'll show you from that angle as well. There's the weedless hook. So hey, Sam, if you're watching, you know who you are. Thank you, mate, for helping me yesterday get this set up, because I've seen a lot of Australian guys do it, but I had no clue how to do it myself, so I'm extremely happy with that, because that's yeah, like real gnarly rocky sort of shit, and I didn't get caught up and I got a beautiful fish, so very happy, very, very happy. Righto fish, come here. So we're just going to kick off with I'm a big fan of the crazy legs from Gulp, and because the darker lures seem to be working better, this one is called a Sapphire Shine, and it's a crazy leg. It's crazy. There's only one other boat out here, which is that guy there. He's been moving around continuously. There's no one else out. So it's actually, as I say, the wind will actually drop off towards midday. It's going to drop right down, and then once the tide turns this afternoon, it's going to build up a bit more from there. But at least when it does build up, it'll be with the tide as opposed to against it like we've got now. But that's a pretty nice bait, that one. Nice lure. Same as last time I was here. There's absolutely no sign on the sound. I've done the rounds, so doesn't seem to be a lot of fish holding here, but there'll be one. Only need a couple. Well, first fish on. The bite time is 9:30, and it's about 9:30 now, and this is not a big fish, so probably letting him go. So. I notice all the other YouTubers show the fish, so I better start doing it. Okay, there he is. Have a good look at him. Isn't he beautiful? Nice colours there. Little cutie. Little cute snapper. Okay, mate. Goodbye. Well, another baby. Another baby snapper. And old mate here, he's moving. He's not caught anything. So it's getting a bit desperate. Hang on, matey, just calm down a bit. There we go. Hook. Bye. Well, the fishing is slow. Now over here, there's a heap of little birds just coming, the little swifts, all working the bait schools along there. So there'll be Kahawai there. So I'm going to go Kahawai, I should say. Go along there and get some Kahawai, because there's really just no sign here. I've been right around this area, so the fish must have moved out with all the storms or something. But there's some Kahawai there, so I'm going to go get one of them right now. Sign on La Soundoo. Give you a bit of a clean up there, hopefully you can see. Give a bit of a squirt. Right. One for me too. Right, they're right under us now, so... A lot of bait fish. There's the sounder. Yeah. And we got one. There's a lot of them here. Look at, you can see all the birds working. Heaps of them. This fish will jump very shortly. Putting a little bit of pressure on the... Oh, there he goes. think he's just woken up. Not overly happy about being caught. Oh, it's pretty exciting stuff though. The old gaff ready to go. Right, get caught up there, Mr. Kahawai. There you go. That's what a Kahawai looks like. Oh, I'm about to drop him. Yeah, I've got the. We're just not quite long enough on the, not quite long enough on the gaff, but you know, I'll bleed this guy now. So while I was dealing to the other fish, I just had the softbait sitting on the top of the water here, just to get it out of the way, and of course this Kahawai came right beside me, just jumped right onto it. So now we've got two. Yeah, they're in good numbers here, they're right through. Carbon, come here. Right, he's in, sort of. Well, it's pretty much all over here, so I'm going to head home now. That was quite an exciting little session on the old Kahawai there. It sort of made the, you know, finished the day off quite nicely. And I'm going to smoke those up. Always tasty in a smoked Kahawai pie. Lots of peas. And yeah, so only one snapper today, which you saw in the wash. Lots of little ones. I didn't film all those. I caught heaps of small snappers. So it wasn't quite the day I was expecting snapper wise. With the new moon, I thought, you know, it would be a lot better than last week, but as it turned out, last week was better. So you never know with fishing. But I hope you enjoyed the history part for this week. I try and include something every week because there's so much history around the area that you know, we don't get sort of taught about. And I think that one with Hongi Hika from Ngāpuhi coming down, you know, that big battle of the Ngāti Pāua tribe, etc. is really interesting. It's quite an interesting bit of history there. And there's a lot more around Auckland as well, where there are other battles fought. And now there's sort of all these modern structures on it, and there's nothing left of the old past to have a look at. Now, I was watching a guy yesterday who was talking about a pā on Whangaparoa Peninsula, which is still in really good nick, so I might step over there and have a look at that, and also do some filming around where the Treaty of Waitangi was signed, just down the estuary actually, which I never knew about, so I might pop down there, you know, when the fishing's crappy. So anyway guys, hey, really do appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. There's a little notification bell, you can hit that and you'll get notified when I put a video out. Sorry the snapper fishing was a bit lame today, but yeah, I mean the Kahawai fishing is always a little bit exciting. They're not the best eating fish, but they're good enough, you know, so particularly when they're smoked. So it's a bit of a bloodbath here. There's the shoe. I have actually cleaned it up. But I was also watching an Aussie guy who was bleeding fish, and he reckoned if you hang them upside down, they actually bleed out properly. So I tested that today, and yeah, it did make a huge difference hanging the fish upside down. So another thing to learn. Okay, I'm heading home now. Thanks guys. See you next week. Bye.